because escaping from here means death. There is snow and cold all around, and if any prisoner manages to escape, they will die from the cold. But Clemens isn't worried about this. He just wants to get out of here by any means, and one night, he gets the opportunity. He sneaks out by hiding in a coal cart. As he looks up at the sky, seeing the stars, he feels very happy, but suddenly the cart stops. When he tries to look out, a Soviet officer spots him. As a result, he is brought back to the camp and locked in a small underground cell. It is extremely cold there, and it's raining heavily, and he is not given food. However, he survives the torture. After 3 days, Warden comes to release him and says that his comrades are waiting for him. He goes to the place where his companions are, but they are furious with him because none of them have been given food for the past 3 days because of Clemens' actions. In anger, they all start beating him up, leaving Clemens severely injured. Afterward, a doctor, who is also a prisoner, comes to treat Clemens. Clemens tells him that he doesn't want to die here and wants to return to his wife and daughter in Germany. The doctor tells him that escaping is impossible. Even if he manages to escape, he will die from the cold. The truth is that even if he doesn't escape, he will die because the Soviets forced them to dig for lead, and over time, the toxic air penetrates their bodies, causing a deadly disease that no one can survive. The doctor himself is sick. He tells Clemens that he must escape and gives him his warm clothes, food, and even a gun. The doctor had once planned to escape, but now, as he is about to die, he gives all his escape supplies to Clemens, along with his lunchbox, and says that if Clemens survives, he should deliver it to his family and tell them that he has passed away. That night, a snowstorm arrives and Clemens once again escapes. In the morning, Warden learns of it and goes to the doctor, but by then, the doctor has passed away. Warden is furious and sends his soldiers to search for Clemens, but no one finds him. They assume he must have died due to the extreme cold. However, Warden is convinced that Clemens is alive, so he continues the search. Meanwhile, Clemens is shown braving the snowstorm, slowly moving forward. He has been walking for 9 days through the snow when he hears the barking of dogs. Looking back, he sees a sled coming towards him. He collapses, and the sled passes over him. He opens his eyes to realize it was just a dream. Clemens is exhausted after walking for so many days, and he's out of food, thirsty, and starving. He collapses and loses consciousness. After a while, he regains consciousness and hears a sound. He looks up to see a seal. He shoots at it, but the bullet misses. The seal runs away, but Clemens chases it. The seal disappears behind an ice block, but just before it gets out of sight, Clemens takes a shot and hits it. He now has food. After eating, he rests for a while and then continues his journey. He uses a compass to stay on course and keeps talking to himself to stay focused. After 2 months of walking, he sees a dry tree, and it fills him with hope, meaning he has finally reached the edge of the Arctic icy mountains. Meanwhile, Warden is still looking for Clemens, and he orders his soldiers to search a 500-meter radius to find him. Clemens, however, has reached a forest where the trees are all dead. Suddenly, a snowstorm hits, causing trees to fall, and one tree falls on Clemens. Luckily, he is saved by 2 men who are searching for gold. Together, they build a raft and continue down a river, but the current becomes too strong, and one of the men falls into the water. Clemens jumps in to save him and manages to pull him to the shore. Meanwhile, the other man on the raft continues ahead. Later, this man reaches a place where he had been mining for gold with his companion. Greed overtakes him, and he thinks that since his companion is dead, all the gold will be his. But soon Clemens and the other man arrive, and Clemens realizes that his companion betrayed him. The man had intentionally left with the raft, so Clemens shoots him. Clemens and the other man escape, but their journey is far from over. They continue walking for several more months, and once again, they face the snow. The man, exhausted, asks Clemens to carry his bag for a while, but Clemens, suspecting the man might be trying to steal his gold, is attacked by him. As a result, Clemens falls off a cliff and loses consciousness. When he wakes up, he hears the howling of wolves, and they begin to chase him. Clemens climbs a tree to escape, but the wolves manage to grab his leg and the tree falls. Before the wolves can catch him, a group of locals nearby shoot the wolves and save his life, taking him to their village. When Clemens regains consciousness, he is overjoyed to find himself in a village. However, a Soviet soldier sends a message warning the locals that a German soldier has escaped, and anyone who shelters him will be killed. The locals tell Clemens that he must leave to survive, and they give him food and a dog for company on his journey. Clemens continues his journey for another year, walking with the dog. Eventually, they reach a place with a lot of mill workers. The dog runs towards them, and the workers recognize Clemens. They take him to their employer, where Clemens tells his story. The employer sympathizes with him and arranges for him to board a train to escape. Clemens is thrilled to be finally heading home to West Germany. However, at a station along the way, Clemens notices many Soviet soldiers. Realizing the workers had betrayed him, they had informed Warden about the train, and Warden was waiting for him at the station. Before Warden can catch him, Clemens jumps off the train with his dog and runs. The soldiers chase after him, and as he sees Warden ahead, he understands that he is about to be caught. But just as Warden is about to arrest him, Clemens' dog attacks Warden, giving Clemens the chance to escape. Clemens continues to run, but when he hears gunshots, he knows his dog has been killed. Heartbroken, he doesn't stop running. Soon, he reaches a bridge and jumps onto a passing train, escaping from the Soviet soldiers once again. Clemens continues his journey for several months, starving and reaching a fair where he sees two girls selling pancakes. Unable to afford them, one of the girls, feeling pity, gives him a pancake. Clemens is extremely grateful. Eventually, he reaches Central Asia, where a Jewish man recognizes him and suspects something is wrong. The man follows him to a church where Clemens prays. The man approaches and offers to help Clemens, taking him to his home. He gives Clemens a passport, and with it, Clemens reaches the Iranian border, where he shows the passport and is allowed to cross. Clemens is overjoyed, thinking he is finally heading home. But as he crosses a bridge, the light hits him, and he sees Warden standing in front of him. Clemens realizes he is still on Soviet soil, and Warden can arrest him. He feels devastated, thinking all his efforts over 7 years were in vain. But just as Warden moves aside, Clemens understands that the Warden, having promised to catch him no matter what, has let him go. Clemens continues his journey and finally reaches West Germany. It's Christmas Day, and he sees his wife and daughter heading to church. He follows them and watches as his daughter recognizes him and runs to hug him. Clemens is finally reunited with his family after many years. This is how I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like it and subscribe to our channel for more such videos.